In this lesson, we will see two little tricks that I think are very, very powerful in Premiere Pro. One of them is a time remapping. That means changing the speed of a clip, but doing a ramp that is very smooth and using curves to make that ramp extremely controlled. So I will take this shot here and I will simply place it into the timeline and zoom in. This is my zoom button here to see what I have. So here is my shot, and I want from this moment where she pulls the keys, I want to slow down, but in an almost imperceptible way, just to hold the action a little bit. I can do that on reaction shots of actors. Let's say I would have her reaction shot here, like looking at him, or let's find a good example here. There's a good reaction shot here and she looks at him, and I want to slow down this little moment here. So the moment I start seeing her, I'll put an in point. That's the I key. And she looks at him. And before she drops her eyes, I will put a no or out point. And I will paste this right before this shot. So I will bring that in and I will press on the command key, so I push the other shot and I don't overwrite the other shot that I was already there. So now the first thing I have to do is use my tool. You have a tool like this everywhere. You have one here that controls some of the commands that you have for the screen. Either you are going to see alpha, multicam camera to do like several cameras at the same time, all kinds of displays that you can choose to look at here. Here I have a tool for the timeline. I'm going to click on that tool and expand my tracks. That way I can see here that my effects button is available. If I click or control click this button, it is normally set at opacity, which is my normal default here. What I want, you can also choose scale, position, anchor point, different things that you can do with your image. Here I will choose time remapping speed. Now I have this line here that appears. I will do the same here. Control, time remapping speed. Now I have two lines that appear here. And I will use one for when she lifts the eyes. So from this point on, I will place a keyframe. To create a keyframe here, I will use the pen tool. It's the fastest way. And when you see the plus button, it will allow me to place a keyframe exactly on the timeline, on the playhead of the timeline. Now I have a keyframe. And I will play this back to the moment where she looks at him and place another keyframe and let it roll for a few frames after. Now I can use my pointer tool and go ahead and drag that line down till I hit about 50% speed, which slows down my shot. I will move this shot away and trim it out so I can see my whole shot. So now I slow down. You can see now the action is slowed down. What I'm going to do now is grab those tools here and open up my keyframe in the way of creating a curve to my slowdown. Now you see there's a curve here, and to see this better, I will just expand my track, and I can see here very clearly that not only I have a curve that is a straight continuous speed curve, but now I have also a Bezier handle that I can pull and make this into a nice curve. This one I select it and I will drag it until I have a nice curve also. Let me expand even more so I can really see what's going on here. And I have a nice curve onto my timeline here. So it's going to gradually go to slow down and back to speed. And then I can do the same thing with the shot where she pulls the keys. So again, I will place a keyframe here. So I take my pen tool, place a keyframe, and then a keyframe when the keys are pulled out. And again, using my pointer tool, when I see my tool is like a double arrow, I can pull down, and this time I'll even go down to 30% speed. So I really slowed it down massively. Now you see how it's slowed down, and I'm going to grab those keyframe and open them up so I create this nice curve that allows me to do a ramp of speed from normal speed to slow down speed, and again taking my handles and curving that into a nice S curve that will allow me to create this almost imperceptible slow down and hold action in a very beautiful way, very organic. So what I'll do here now with my pointer is select my shots, both my shots. So drag and select both shots and go ahead and render the effects so you can really see them smoothly. So here's a nice curve effect. Slow down the effect on the action of the reaction shot. And same here with the keys, hold the action. If I think this is too much of a slowdown, I can increase the speed again, let's say 44, and play back. This is very, very subtle, and I like that. So this is what you do for remapping the speed of a shot. If you just want to change the general speed of a shot without having any curves or anything like this, let me remove those shots. I'll delete them and start anew. And if I simply want to vary the speed of this shot, the complete shot, what I can do is control click on the shot itself and go to speed duration. So it's just a right click, speed duration, and place it at 50% speed. So now you can see that the shot, I'm going to undo this, you can see the shot doubled its length. If I want to accelerate it, it's the contrary. So I will control click, get to my speed duration, and instead of 100% speed, I will do 200%, and now the shot is half the size and is accelerated, as you can see. I did a Command Z on this one, and if I want to reverse the shot, I will simply do the same thing. I will control click, go to my speed duration, and this time instead of 100%, I will simply write -100 or simply reverse speed. One or the other is the same thing. Now it's going to go backwards. And we sometimes need to do that for some shots, maybe not this one, but you can see the shot now is going backwards. So this is what we must know about time remapping the speed of clips.